Jed Duggar and wife Katie want to slow down after having 4 kids in 4 years. Jedidiah Jed Duggar and his wife Katie Duggar have made headlines in the past few years for growing their young family at an unexpectedly fast pace. Since tying the knot in April 2021, the couple has welcomed 4 children in just 4 years, an impressive feat by any standard. Now, as their household grows more dynamic and filled with laughter, diapers, and plenty of responsibilities, the couple is opening up about their evolving priorities and how they're ready to hit the brakes at least a little. Jed, a member of the well-known Duggar family from the reality TV shows 19 Kids and Counting On, grew up in a household where large families were the norm. With 19 siblings, he is no stranger to the chaos and joy that a bustling home brings. When he and Katie began their journey together, few expected them to replicate the rapid pace of childbearing associated with the elder Duggar generation so soon. But after 4 pregnancies in 4 consecutive years, the couple has taken a step back to reflect on their lifestyle, their marriage, and what they envision for their future. Their decision to slow things down is not rooted in regret, but rather in an earnest desire to be more intentional. Both Jed and Katie have expressed deep gratitude for the blessings of parenthood, but they also acknowledge the demands that come with raising multiple children, especially when they are so close in age. Each phase of a child's life brings its own set of challenges, and juggling infancy, toddlerhood, and early childhood all at once has created an atmosphere that is equal parts rewarding and exhausting. Katie, who has become a fan favorite on social media for her candid updates and approachable personality, recently shared that motherhood has been the most transformative experience of her life. She admitted that while she and Jed were open to having a large family, they didn't quite anticipate just how fast their family would grow. The couple's children have become the centerpiece of their daily lives, but with each new addition, the need for structure, time management, and emotional balance has only grown. The rapid pace of their family expansion has also brought public attention. Observers have drawn comparisons between Jed and his parents, Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, who famously raised a large family guided by conservative Christian values and a belief in leaving family planning up to divine will. However, Jed and Katie's approach, while still deeply rooted in faith, appears to lean more toward balance and adaptability. Their recent statements suggest a thoughtful consideration of what is best for their marriage, their mental health, and their children's upbringing. As they contemplate slowing down, the Duggars are not turning their backs on the idea of a larger family altogether. Instead, they're emphasizing the importance of quality over quantity, at least for now. They want to focus on nurturing the children they already have, providing them with individualized attention, and strengthening their own bond as a couple. With 4 children under the age of 5, that's no small feat. Jed has also noted that while faith remains the cornerstone of their family life, he and Katie are learning to embrace flexibility. In the past, Duggar family traditions leaned heavily toward routine and strict discipline, but the younger generation, Jed included, seems more inclined to blend structure with grace. This evolution is visible in how they speak about parenting, with both Jed and Katie showing a clear intent to foster emotional intelligence, communication, and independent thinking in their children. Another major factor behind their decision to take a step back is the physical and emotional toll of continuous pregnancies. Katie has been through the physical rigors of pregnancy and postpartum recovery without pause for 4 straight years. As joyful as the births of her children have been, the cumulative stress on her body and emotional well-being has prompted the couple to reevaluate their pace. They've mentioned the importance of self-care, acknowledging that a rested and healthy parent is better equipped to provide a loving and stable home. The pressures of social media and public expectations have also played a role in shaping their reflections. Living in the spotlight, especially as members of a family that's frequently scrutinized, can add an extra layer of complexity to every decision they make. Jed and Katie have managed to maintain a relatively low profile compared to some of their siblings, but their family milestones are still watched closely by fans and critics alike. Choosing to speak openly about wanting to slow down is a significant step, and one that shows maturity and confidence in carving their own path. In terms of daily life, the Duggars' home is filled with all the routines and chaos one might expect from a household with 4 small children. From early morning wake-ups and meal times to bedtime routines and spontaneous toddler tantrums, each day is packed with activity. Amid the busy schedule, Jed and Katie try to prioritize quality time, both with each child individually and as a family. They've spoken about the importance of traditions, small, consistent rituals that create a sense of security and belonging. Family support has been instrumental in helping them manage the demands of early parenthood. Both Jed and Katie come from large families, which means there are always willing hands ready to help. Whether it's babysitting, cooking, or simply offering encouragement, the extended Duggar and Nakatsu clans have played an important role in helping the couple stay grounded. That said, Jed and Katie have also expressed a desire to establish their own household identity, distinct from the systems they grew up in. Looking ahead, the couple plans to invest more in their own relationship. With so many young children in the house, carving out time for one another has become both more difficult and more essential. Date nights, quiet conversations after the kids are asleep, and shared spiritual practices are among the ways they maintain their connection. They've realized that a strong marriage is not only beneficial for them, but also serves as a foundational model for their children. In terms of work and responsibilities outside the home, Jed has been active in business and occasionally in politics, while Katie has leaned into her role as a stay-at-home mom. However, they've expressed interest in possibly expanding their professional horizons in the future, especially as their children grow older. Katie has shared an interest in creative projects and community work, while Jed continues to engage in real estate and other ventures. As for the possibility of returning to reality television, Jed and Katie haven't given a definitive answer. While some of the Duggar siblings have stepped away from the spotlight entirely, others have cautiously engaged with media in a way that aligns with their values. For now, it seems the couple is more interested in authenticity and privacy than public exposure, focusing their energy on building a life that feels meaningful and manageable. In a culture where fast-paced lifestyles are often glorified, the Duggars' choice to slow down is both refreshing and instructive. It signals a shift in generational priorities, one that values presence over pressure and depth over speed. Jed and Katie's willingness to be honest about their limitations, their hopes, and their evolving philosophy of parenting is a testament to their growth, not just as individuals, but as partners and parents. Ultimately, the couple sees this new phase not as a retreat, but as a recalibration. They remain open to what the future holds but are determined to embrace the present. With 4 young children bringing joy and adventure into their lives each day, Jed and Katie are learning that sometimes the best way forward is to slow down, take a breath, and savor the journey one moment at a time. Jill Duggar celebrates 11 years of marriage with heartfelt tribute. Jill Duggar, former reality TV personality and member of the well-known Duggar family, is marking a significant milestone in her personal life. On June 21, 2025, she and her husband, Derek Dillard, celebrated their 11th wedding anniversary. The couple commemorated the occasion with a touching tribute that reflects not only their enduring love, but also the growth and transformation their relationship has experienced over the years. For fans who have followed Jill from her early days on the TLC show 19 Kids and counting to her current life as a wife, mother, and advocate for personal healing and independence, this anniversary is especially meaningful. Jill's public message to Derek was sincere, emotional, and filled with gratitude, a quiet yet powerful contrast to the more private and tumultuous aspects of her past. that have come to light in recent years. Jill and Derek were married in 2014, during a time when the Duggar family was still widely regarded as a symbol of conservative Christian values and traditional family life. Their courtship and wedding were documented on the family's reality show, allowing fans a front-row seat to the beginnings of their life together. Their romance followed the family's well-known courtship rules, including supervised dates, side hugs, and no kissing before marriage. Despite the pressure of constant public scrutiny, Jill and Derek began building a life rooted in their shared faith and mutual commitment. In the early years, they moved away from the Duggar compound in Arkansas, embarking on missionary work and beginning to chart a path that increasingly deviated from the Duggar family norm. To mark their 11th anniversary, Jill posted a heartfelt message on social media, accompanied by a series of photographs that captured moments from their wedding, family life, and quiet date nights. Her tribute acknowledged not only their love, but also the many hurdles they have overcome as a couple. While she did not go into detail about the difficulties they have faced, the tone of her message suggested a deep appreciation for how far they've come together. Jill wrote about the ways their relationship has matured and how they've grown together through joys and hardships alike. She praised Derek for his consistent support, highlighting his role not only as a loving husband, but also as a father and partner in their evolving life. One of the most striking aspects of Jill and Derek's story is their decision to distance themselves from the Duggar family brand and some of the values it espoused. Over the past few years, they have been candid about their departure from the Duggar family's strict guidelines, including the famed IBLP teachings promoted by family patriarch Jim Bob Duggar. Their departure from the family's influence has not been without its struggles. Jill has spoken publicly about strained relationships with certain family members, particularly her father, and the emotional toll of breaking away from a highly controlled environment. However, through counseling, personal growth, and mutual support, she and Derek have gradually built a life that reflects their own beliefs and values. Their 11th anniversary is not just a celebration of longevity, but also of survival and authenticity. The tribute makes clear that the couple's bond is strengthened by shared experiences that go far beyond what the cameras once captured. Since stepping away from reality TV, Jill and Derek have focused on raising their 3 children, pursuing education and professional goals, and advocating for personal autonomy. Derek has become a practicing attorney after completing law school, while Jill has been open about attending therapy and investing in her mental and emotional health. Their home life, while shared in glimpses on social media, is markedly different from the heavily curated content of their television past. Instead of focusing on appearances, Jill's posts often highlight the beauty in ordinary moments, baking with her sons, going on walks with Derek, or celebrating milestones like birthdays and anniversaries in a low-key, intimate manner. Their social media presence also reflects a balanced perspective. Jill has often acknowledged that marriage takes work and that their relationship, like any other, includes ups and downs. Her 11th anniversary tribute emphasized gratitude over perfection, showing an appreciation for the daily efforts that build a strong foundation. The reaction from fans to Jill's tribute has been overwhelmingly positive. Many longtime followers expressed admiration for the strength the couple has demonstrated and noted how refreshing it is to see Jill living life on her own terms. Messages of encouragement and congratulations poured in, with supporters applauding the couple for prioritizing love, health, and honesty. The tribute also served as a quiet reminder of how far Jill has come in her personal journey. For many fans, she represents a voice of resilience and healing, someone who dared to ask questions, seek help, and advocate for change within a framework that discouraged independent thinking. By publicly marking her anniversary with thoughtful words and heartfelt imagery, Jill not only honored her marriage, but also reinforced her commitment to transparency and authenticity. 11 years may not seem like a long time in the grand scheme of things, but for Jill and Derek Dillard, each year has been filled with significant transitions. From young newlyweds under the shadow of a powerful family name to independent adults forging their own identities, the Dillards' journey has been anything but static. Their anniversary celebration is, in many ways, symbolic of all they've endured, not only the joys of raising a family and achieving personal goals, but also the pain of loss, disconnection, and rebuilding trust. It's clear from Jill's words that she sees this milestone as a victory, one earned through perseverance, mutual respect, and a shared desire to grow both individually and together. While the early years of their relationship were displayed in the spotlight, Jill and Derek have gradually shifted their narrative to one that values depth over display. Their 11th anniversary is not marked by flashy gestures or grand declarations, but by a simple, powerful tribute that speaks to the endurance of love in real life. For Jill Duggar Dillard, the path has not always been easy, but as she and Derek celebrate over a decade of marriage, it's evident that their bond is rooted in more than just shared history. It's built on faith, respect, shared healing, and the courage to write their own story. As Jill concluded her tribute, she hinted at hope for the future, embracing what lies ahead while holding close the lessons of the past. It was not just a celebration of 11 years, it was an affirmation of their journey and a quiet vow to keep choosing each other, day by day. Duggar News. Jill Duggar insults Jim Bob with her Father's Day post. Jill Duggar Dillard has once again drawn public attention, this time over a Father's Day tribute that appears to indirectly call out her own father, Jim Bob Duggar. The former reality star, best known for appearing on 19 Kids and Counting and later Counting On, shared a social media post on Father's Day that many fans and followers interpreted as a subtle, or perhaps not so subtle dig at her controversial father. While she didn't mention him by name, the message was loud enough to resonate throughout Duggar fandom. Over the past several years, Jill has emerged as one of the more outspoken Duggar children, separating herself from the family's strict religious structure, public image, and internal dynamics. Her latest post follows that same trajectory and reaffirms her emotional and ideological distance from Jim Bob Duggar, the family patriarch who has long been a subject of public scrutiny. On Father's Day 2025, Jill shared a heartfelt message on her Instagram honoring her husband, Derek Dillard, for being the kind of father she had always hoped her children would have. The message was filled with praise, sincerity, and a tone of gratitude, but noticeably absent was any mention of Jim Bob Duggar. This omission, coupled with the wording of her post, sparked conversation and debate across social media platforms and Duggar-related forums. The caption read, "Happy Father's Day to the best dad my kids could ever ask for. Thank you for always being present, for leading with kindness, integrity, and humility. Watching you love our kids with patience and compassion is healing in ways I never knew I needed. Your consistent presence in their lives gives them what I never had growing up. We're all so blessed to have you." Though Jill's message was clearly centered on her appreciation for Derek, the subtext didn't go unnoticed. Phrases like, "what I never had growing up," and "your consistent presence" seemed to contrast her husband's parenting style with the way she was raised, a way that she has previously described as authoritarian, fear-based, and lacking in emotional support. Followers quickly picked up on the underlying tone. Comments flooded in, praising Jill for her honesty and courage, while others expressed disappointment or concern over what they perceived as an intentional slight toward her father. Many fans saw the post as another example of Jill publicly distancing herself from her upbringing and continuing her journey of healing. Jill's complicated relationship with her parents, particularly Jim Bob, has been public knowledge for several years. In interviews, YouTube videos, and even her co-written memoir Counting the Cost, Jill has spoken candidly about the emotional strain she experienced growing up in the Duggar household. From the strict rules imposed by their conservative religious beliefs to the control exerted by Jim Bob over the family's finances and decisions, Jill has painted a picture of a tightly managed, patriarchal home environment. In her memoir, Jill revealed that she and Derek had to fight for financial independence after years of working on the family's television shows without compensation. She alleged that Jim Bob maintained control over the contracts and finances, even as his adult children continued appearing on screen. Jill also claimed that she was not allowed to make personal choices without seeking her father's permission well into adulthood. The couple's decision to step away from Counting On was not just about privacy, it was about autonomy. Jill and Derek wanted the freedom to raise their children differently and to live without being beholden to the family brand. This ongoing struggle for independence has been a defining theme in Jill's public persona in recent years. Given that context, it's not surprising that her Father's Day tribute to Derek served as more than just a sweet message. For many observers, it was a clear continuation of her efforts to redefine her values, celebrate the life she's chosen, and quietly critique the one she left behind. Interestingly, other Duggar children took different approaches to Father's Day this year. Some posted old photos with Jim Bob, accompanied by generic or warm-hearted messages. Others remained silent on the subject. As is often the case with the Duggar family, silence can be just as telling as words. Jessa Duggar Seawald, for example, shared a short note honoring her husband Ben, and only later added a simple "Happy Father's Day, Dad" comment on her stories. Joy Anna Forsyth posted a throwback of Jim Bob with one of her children, but did not elaborate. Meanwhile, Jonna Duggar, who maintains a lower public profile, made no post at all. Public response to Jill's post has been deeply divided. Supporters have praised her for being open and vulnerable about her experiences. Comments included statements like, "This is beautiful, Jill. Your honesty is inspiring. It takes real strength to recognize what you lacked and make sure your kids get what you didn't. Your transparency has helped so many people find their own healing." Others were more critical, suggesting that airing such personal grievances, even implicitly, on a public platform wasn't appropriate. One commenter wrote, "You could have honored your husband without taking a shot at your dad." This feels petty, not empowering. But Jill's loyal followers point to her years of trauma, the silence she kept for so long, and the emotional growth she's achieved as justification for her words. They argue that breaking generational cycles often requires honesty, even when it's uncomfortable. For her part, Jill has not responded to the controversy directly. She appears to be staying focused on her family and her ongoing advocacy for transparency, emotional healing, and autonomy. Her Father's Day post aligns with the themes she and Derek have emphasized in their public appearances and writing: boundaries, independence, and redefinition of family roles. The tension between Jill and Jim Bob is not a new revelation. In Shiny Happy People, Duggar Family Secrets, a docuseries on Amazon Prime Video, Jill gave a powerful interview where she shared more about her decision to step away from the family's teachings and the emotional cost of that decision. In the series, she tearfully described how choosing to live differently strained relationships with her parents and siblings, some of whom no longer communicate with her regularly. Jim Bob has never publicly responded to many of Jill's specific allegations, maintaining a pattern of silence or deflection whenever criticism arises. In past statements released on behalf of the Duggar parents, they've expressed love for their children, while also emphasizing their belief in forgiveness and spiritual values. They have not directly addressed the financial claims or emotional critiques raised by Jill. With each passing year, Jill seems to grow more confident in her voice. Whether she's talking about parenting, mental health, or spiritual healing, her perspective resonates with many who have left controlling environments or experienced familial estrangement. Her audience has evolved from Duggar fans to individuals seeking solidarity in shared experiences of healing and boundary setting. Still, Jill remains a Duggar by blood and by association. Her story is one of evolution, but it's also a reflection of a broader shift in how people, especially women, are reclaiming their narratives from patriarchal systems. Her Father's Day message may have ruffled feathers, but it also represents a continuation of that reclaiming process. As Jill and Derek continue to raise their 3 children, Israel, Samuel, and Frederick, their focus remains on building a home that is safe, emotionally nurturing, and spiritually inclusive. Derek has been vocal in supporting Jill's decisions and has backed her efforts to speak out against past injustices. Together, they've emphasized therapy, education, and emotional openness as key values in their household. To those outside the Duggar inner circle, the tension may appear dramatic, even headline-worthy. But to those who have followed Jill's journey closely, her Father's Day post is not an attack, it's a declaration. A declaration of change, of progress, and of the kind of father she wants her children to look up to. Critics may continue to analyze her words and motives. Some will say she should let go of the past, while others will applaud her for finally acknowledging it. But one thing is clear: Jill Duggar Dillard is no longer staying silent. Whether through her memoir, her social media, or her public statements, she is committed to telling her story on her own terms. In a family where silence was once the norm and loyalty often meant complicity, Jill's decision to speak out even through something as symbolic as a Father's Day post represents more than a personal grievance. It represents a generational turning point. As for Jim Bob Duggar, the patriarch remains largely out of the spotlight when it comes to individual family controversies. His public appearances have become more selective, and he rarely, if ever, comments on the fractured relationships within the family. Whether he interprets Jill's post as an insult or a loss remains unknown, but the distance between them appears more entrenched than ever. In the end, Jill's Father's Day message wasn't just for Derek. It was also for herself, and for anyone trying to build a new life from the pieces of an old one.